Good afternoon. It's August the 11th, 2020. A rare afternoon taping for me, but I wanted to come look at Tactics, the original realistic land army war game. Well, sort of. This is obviously not the original 1954 Tactics. They became fairly rare and pretty expensive if you can find one. This is the 1983 reprint, the 25th anniversary of Avalon Hill, which started in '58 with Tactics 2, which really started Avalon Hill. So, and it has things in common with both games, right? The original Tactics, right? And Tactics 2. And the big difference in Tactics, the original, and Tactics 2 was the redesign of the game board and game map. And here is a variant map that was made, it was claimed to be made first and not packaged with the game. But here it is. Anyways, this was, let's look at Tactics. Is the very first modern board war game designed and perfected by Charles S. Roberts, founder of Avalon Hill and pioneer in the design of tactical ally skilled games of logic. All right. In 1952, while an infantry officer, Charles S. Roberts designed Tactics for his own tactical and strategic instruction, primarily to test application of the 9 principles of war in preparation for a military career. 2 map boards were prepared and to provide a variety of terrain situations. The first never before published version is in this 25th anniversary edition. The second map board, with rules similar to those contained in the first, was copyrighted in an edition of only 2,000 copies in 1954 by the Avalon Game Company. Tactics became Tactics 2, a game as popular today as when it was published under the Avalon Hill Game Company in 1958. Tactics 2 is the top-selling war game in history, and it is the progenitor of the Charles S. Roberts Award, presented annually by the hobby industry to outstanding contributors to wargaming avocation. I would take issue that Tactics 2 is the most published war game in history. I do believe that would. Let's not get into that. I think there's several that you know, that more widely known. But anyways, this is the first modern war game. Was Tactics. You know, in some ways he took what he learned from things like what we've learned to call war chess, very similar to feudal if you know the game. But in other instances, he was just making stuff up as he went along. He is, he should be rightfully venerated for what he accomplished in our hobby, right? I mean, he in a lot of ways built the popularity of the hobby, right? So let's look at it. That's a Telltale Avalon Hill backings from the 80s. All right. Let's look at the map. The game was. Let me get it right. The game was revolutionary. What looks quaint today was quite revolutionary. I mean, let's see if I can get. Was quite revolutionary. Look at that. Yeah. Wow. Still a deal. It's not even that warped. I haven't played it in a while. That's the Silver Jubilee. This is Silver Jubilee catalog. Good catalog. It's company history right there from the 25 years. It lived till when? 98. Wow. Rules and regulations. Here we go. Basically, the thing that was so. What can I find that? There we go. Combat results table, the CRT. Thing so revolutionary about it was the. Let's look at a couple of the counters. The blue. There we go. So we got blue 4 and op 4, of course. Right? Just basically the old Avalon hell. You know, I got the original sprue in here. I've been punching except one there. You know, so I probably should bag these. It's been a while since I've had it. I've played this several times. It's a fun game. I mean, I think it's a fun game. I play Tactics 2 as well, which is basically this with a different map variant. But it's revolutionary in a few ways. When this came out, you know, you had chess top players, as that's what it was marketed to, chess top players, you know, strategic players. And when they read things like the big rules are, you can move some, all, and what do you got, 30 pieces on each side, some, all, or none of your pieces, right? And you could move one piece like, what, 30 times, if I remember the rules right, yeah, or all 30 one time, or whatever, any variation. That blew people's minds, you know, because that's revolutionary. Because chess, you move a piece, your opponent moves a piece. You get to do your stuff. You get, you know, so this upped it big time. Also, the biggest revolutionary thing of it was the CRT. Now, the way I understand it, that he independently came up with the idea of an odd-based combat results table, and the RAND Corporation, which is known for consulting and war gaming themselves, they were making war games, military-based war games, and company-based war games, probably, I guess, definitely military-based war games, long before Charles S. Roberts published this. But when he published this right here, they were doing the same thing, and they wanted to know how he knew to use a CRT. They thought there might be a leak or something. So there's correspondence with him. And in the correspondence back and forth, come to find out, I do believe that Charlie Roberts came up with this independently, you know. Because I said, you know, he was basically piggybacking on some of war chess, but a lot of stuff he was making up as he goes along. But if you notice, it's the squares, you know. So in that, in the correspondence, they sent a picture. The picture, I'm assuming, not a mimeograph, but a picture. I think it was a picture. And in the background, he's seen a map with hexes. So he did rip off the hexes from the RAND Corporation, which he would use in subsequent games, which deals with the movement problems that the particularly diagonal movement, which I'm not going to get into. I might do a video on the hex sometime. But Charlie Roberts, this was his game, and it's still fun. Is it the greatest? That ain't the greatest game, but it's still fun. It's not bad at all. I'll play it all day. You know, I'll play it anytime. Is it realistic? Well, I guess it was for 1954. It does represent some things. You know, it's a honest to goodness good game. You know, I mean, there's the determination of odds. There's the combat. You know, there's the movement. It's talking about. Well, let's look at the movement. That's what blows your mind. You know, if you're coming from a world, if you're playing chess, you will notice that the map board is completely marked in square 1/2 inch in size. Each unit representing a division HQ or HQs fits a square. All movement is based on these squares. The game begins by each player throwing the cubic. That's a die, man. That's where is the die? Do I have a die in here, or did I not have one? The cubic. Yeah, I might not have a die in there. I might have. Shame. Throwing the cubic supplied in the player with the highest number being the first to move. From then on, each player takes his turn in rotation. For each turn, a player is allowed to move a total of 30 squares. This is his basic turn allowance. That's basic, some basic record keeping is involved there. He can move one or more units, any combination of squares, as long as total squares moved into does not exceed 30. For example, move one unit 30 squares, move 30 units 1 square, yeah, I was right, and move one unit 10 squares, a 2 unit 3 squares, blah blah blah. A player does not have to use his full allotment of 30 squares in any turn. Indeed, he can choose not to move at all. See, that's mind-blowing, for chess players. You know what I mean? So this is it. This is, well, it's a reprint, but this is the game that started it all, and commercially started it all. Right? All right. Y'all have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.